an Amazon, I want to just like debunk this. An Amazon seller is a person who owns a brand and is leveraging Amazon as a platform, right? Like we got into some weird thing years ago where it's like you're some other, no, you are a brand owner and you have to use business principles that are going to get you to a higher level if you ever want to not just achieve 8 figures, but here's the tricky part, sustain it.
Athena, so with that being said, you do organize a bunch of mastermind events and meetups for sellers, which is awesome. But we also just talked about how like it's not all about just like the things that you hear on the stage, right? Like it's not just showing up to those events that's going to be changing in your business. What are the mental unlocks that you feel like the 8 figure, 9 figure sellers have that maybe the 7 figure sellers that get stuck don't have?
I think it's part of it's the ability to think bigger, like believe it or not, like it's orders of magnitude, right? Like if you can launch a product and you have the systems in place and you know what you're doing, it's like it's being able to do that times a factor of 10 or a factor of 15 and having the right systems in place so that you can actually get to those levels and really, again, it's being a professional. You've got to understand your cash flow. You've got to understand, your pipeline. You've got to understand all of it because I see people who in their attempt to scale, they end up getting into cash flow crunches where they're chasing, like we talked about the other day when you were doing a beautiful exercise with your young son on how he was selling his keychains that were $5 and I prepaid for it. And you were talking about how, a lot of sellers don't even understand cash flow. So it's like, I think that there's just these business factors that people need to really have in place and understand when most people are chasing a hack. Most people are chasing that, like whatever thing they think is going to be the holy grail, when a lot of what really makes these businesses run is the basics. It's having the right systems, the right plan in place, putting one foot in front of the other, and not thinking that they can do it all. I still see guys who are doing, multi 7 figures with a couple VAs when in order to scale to that next level, they need to get out of their own way. So there's just like a lot of these very key business perspectives that apply to an Amazon seller. They're like an Amazon, I want to just like debunk this. An Amazon seller is a person who owns a brand and is leveraging Amazon as a platform, right? Like we got into some weird thing years ago where it's like you're some other, no, you are a brand owner and you have to use business principles that are going to get you to a higher level if you ever want to not just achieve 8 figures, but here's the tricky part, sustain it.
Yeah. And here's what I love about that comment there, Athena, right? It is true. Like if you just consider yourself like, oh, I'm just a seller and I make some money on Amazon, in my mind, I see that as a mental shift between like, I am a business professional, I am a business owner, I am a businessman or woman, versus I'm a seller. A seller implies like, I'm just making some quick cash here on the side. It's like a side hustle. Now, look, for some people, that's exactly what they want. And if that's what they want, then that's great. But just like, don't hold yourself, like, don't compare yourself to the other people that are actually business owners because they're operating in a different mindset. And so, on that note, Athena, I'm thinking about this. The things that, so this would maybe fly in the face of like what you guys do, which is putting together a bunch of events and bringing people together. But you just said it yourself, right? The operating a business, like the system's already there. There are a lot of courses out there. Titan has one of them. Seller Systems is another. There are multiple like business operating systems in the Amazon e-commerce ecosystem. In my opinion, it provides the basic foundation of how you need to be able to like actually run an e-commerce business. But yet people continue to go, they're attending the webinars, they're attending all the different conferences, and they can't get enough of the conferences. Like sometimes I look at the people that are always somewhere traveling and I'm like, so when do you actually work, right? When do you actually implement the things that you are learning, right? And so my advice and recommendation to a lot of those people that are like continuously looking for that next golden nugget or hack, I promise you it's not the hacks that get you from 7 to 8 figures. I promise you it's being a business owner and implementing business operating systems that will allow you to scale faster. Okay. And then it is the networking that comes. And from my perspective, Athena, here's why I do the networking that I do. And this has been one of my biggest unlocks as we're trying to scale to 9 figures right now. I know that the best people that I will be able to hire, because it's all about people, right? I listened to Alex Hermosi. What was his year in review for the past few years? Is like, I have learned more and more and more how like people is the number one thing in business, right? It's who are you surrounding yourself with in terms of who is your team? You bring on really, really smart people that can run circles around you, then great. Like your business is going to scale. You bring on crappy people, right? You're going to be frustrated and life's not going to be great. And so with that being said, the networking, in my opinion, comes to, hey, who knows a really good Amazon PPC marketer, right? Whether it be an agency or it's a person, or who knows a great brand manager, who knows a great sourcing agent, right? It is those relationships that you can tap into with your network that identifies and can help you provide the right who in your business faster than if you just try to go it alone. So, Athena, tell me more about that. Like, is hiring, do you see that as an important aspect of it? How have you seen kind of like connections within the community be able to like really like help scale people's brands?
Yeah, I think that's huge. I think that there's three routes that someone can go. One, they do the training themselves and they implement, right? Two is they hire an internal team, or three, they get a professional. And I think those three things are things that you have to really understand what your special skills are and where your focus needs to be. And I think one of the biggest things that I get asked is like, where do I put my focus? Like, where should my energy be? When I get up in the morning, what tasks are the 20% that actually lead the rest of the 80%? And I think really having a good handle on that is huge. And then, as you mentioned, like connecting with other people, I think one of the things that we need to stop is reinventing the wheel, right? And like thinking that somehow I talk to people who are like chasing that hack, and there are systems that have been found over the last, many, many, many years, that if you just actually take that system and you implement it, you're going to speed up your progress tremendously. And so I think it's those guys who are like still, do it yourselfers, when they're trying to get to that next level, that just really struggle.
As we wrap things up, I love to leave the audience with the reactionable takeaways from every episode. So, Athena, let me know if you feel like I'm missing something here.
Okay.
Action item number one, I'm going to say, is your rate of learning. Okay. Your rate of learning is directly correlated to the success and your ability to scale in your business. And if you rewind this episode, when I talk about learning, it's not, hey, how many podcasts did you listen to? How many books did you read? How many stages did you, or how many conferences did you attend, or anything like that? The rate of learning is this. Did you hear something and then immediately implement it into your business? And honestly, the best way to learn is like whatever the issue is that you're dealing with now, go find a podcast episode about that. Go find a book about that. Go find somebody that's talked about it on a stage, right? Learn it, just in time learning, and then implement it into your business. That rate of learning and taking action is going to propel your business faster than anything else, rather than just continuing to listen, just for the sake of making sure you're not missing out on something. Action item number two is going to be all about that perseverance that we talked about. Okay. I love your story there with Nordic Track. Okay. 40-year-old household name brand, right? That we feel like, oh, it's been around for ages. Like, surely, like, they're good, right? Like, they are set. They have made it. And it's the opposite, right? It's no, they are still continuously pivoting. When COVID happened, it dramatically affected them, right? And look, a lot of the the current e-commerce, industry is like all up in arms about Amazon raising the fees and things like that. And it's like, look, guys, you can whine and complain all you want, but Amazon A is not going to pull them back. B, they're only going to continue to increase. So guess what? That hard thing needs to be seen as a good thing because A, it's going to force you to level yourself up in business. And B, it's actually finally building up some decent moats around Amazon, which I'm 100% game for, that makes it that much more challenging for a new seller to get on the platform and to actually have success. And so you do need to see every opportunity as an opportunity to pivot and grow. The brands that have been around for 40 plus years, think of Apple's story, right? Has Apple been the Apple that we know it as today for the past 50 years? Heavens no, right? Like they have gone through a lots of ups and downs and twists and turns. So likewise, don't be surprised when that happens in your own business, but lean into those things. I know it's uncomfortable and I've been there, right? We had to pivot our business during COVID when we primarily sold party goods. That was a terrible business to be in, right? And then we pivoted and we have since been able to grow and expand even further than I would have imagined otherwise. So see those opportunities truly as what they are. Like see the challenges as opportunities. All right, action item number 3. Get in the right rooms, connecting with the right people, and do it behind closed doors, right? And I say behind closed doors, implying the fact that when you go to the conferences, it's not about the people that are up on stage. It's about the side conversations that you're having with people at your table, the person that you connect with at lunch or breakfast or at dinner or go out for drinks afterwards. Though that's where the magic happens. That's where you're going to be able to really, pick somebody's brain, but most importantly, build a relationship so that when you are looking for the right who's in your business, you can reach out to your network and say, who knows this person that does X, Y, or Z? That's where the best talent's going to come from. So, Athena, those are my 3 action items. Anything else you would add to that?
I think that established for me right there just why you are as successful as you are, because you were able to pull 3 very easy action items from our conversation and make them very simple and actionable. So well done, Josh. I've been able to hack this system to be able to create those relationships a lot faster. And I think that that's why Titan is as effective as it has been. It's amazing to me that you were able to bring me that clarity just now. Is I've literally been trying to hack the system of how do we get people to implement faster, to grow faster, and to connect faster so that those relationships can become solid so quickly. And that's really, I think, where my brain is. So even just talking to you today, I think just brought a lot of clarity. So thank you for that.
Awesome. Love it. This has been a great conversation. Athena, I've got to ask you the famous 3 questions that I ask
Sure.
every guest at the end of each episode. So, number 1, what's been the most influential book that you've read and why?
I've so many books, but one that's like really stuck out for me lately is Ready, Fire, Aim. It goes through the different stages of business. Have you read that one?
I have.
Oh, I love it so much. I think I need to reread it again because you're just at a different stage at all times. It applies to any business. And I think it really establishes the failures and the successes that a lot of businesses. I'm fascinated by history and learning about, supermarkets that were around for 100 years and how one pivoted and one didn't. These are the things that can really help us as business owners open our minds to ways to always stay ahead. So I think that's a really good book.
Love it. Great recommendation. All right, question number 2. What is your favorite AI tool or chat GPT prompt that you've been using recently?
I need to send it to you. It was one about being like brutally honest and how to like get out of your own way. That was so powerful and so direct that it became kind of viral within Titan. People were sharing it because it was asking them to have like a very high IQ and just be utterly brutal. And some of the things it said to myself and to others was just so spot on. So I'll make sure to send that to you and maybe you can put it in the notes of the episode.
We will put it in the show notes. How to have AI pull you apart. I love it.
Yeah, it was like roasting, but it was great.
Love it. Good. We could all use that. All right. Final question. Who is somebody in the e-com space that you've done something, wicked smart recently, right? Whether it be PPC, whether it be sourcing, whether it be supply chain or project management. Who's doing some cool stuff in the e-com space?
I would like to give a shout out to Leiden Smithers, right? Just because with the tariffs, with the changes in China, the guy just went directly there and figured things out. And he's leading our China Magic trip in a few weeks. And he's just been doing an incredible job, not just in leading Titan and China Magic, but in our personal brands, which have made some very material shifts that have kept our brands healthy. Whereas, if we would have just kind of been like, whatever, he was just very proactive. So I think Leiden's doing some pretty amazing things.
Awesome. Well, we'll have to pull his arm to get him on the show.
Totally.
Athena, this has been awesome. If people want to learn more about you, the Titan Network, where can they find you at?
So titannetwork.com, connect with us, jump on a call with us, see if we can help you. ChinaMagicTrip.com if you want to come to China with us. And just reach out to me. You can find me on any social media platform, Athena Severi. Josh, there's just one little thing, if you wouldn't mind, that I'd love to kind of impart on our final moment here together. I was going to go in for a 5-hour surgery. This was a couple years ago, and I was not scared, not even a little bit, about it until I actually had to walk out the door. And I had this thought, what if this is the end? What if I never get to see my kids again? I mean, it's 5 hours of being under. That's kind of a lot, right? So I wrote down a few sentences to my boys just on a little sheet of paper right before I was walking out. And I know you're a parent, and a lot of people can relate to that feeling of like, what would be that last message you'd want to leave people with, right? And I said, a couple things. And then I said to my boys, I said, I want you to live beautifully, right? And I think this Amazon platform is fantastic. E-commerce in general is amazing. It's a vehicle to help you to achieve great things. But when it really comes down to it, what I wanted to impart as a mother, as my final words, in case they were, was to live beautifully. So I'd like to leave everyone with this last thought is live beautifully. Whatever you need to do to make your business create that life for you, in the end, that's what it's about. It's about your goals, your achievement, your freedom, the people you love, the things that you do, the experiences that you have. And if there's anything taking away from that, like sort it out with a lot of velocity so that you can take these years that you are on this planet and make them beautiful and impactful.
I love it. Well said, Athena. Great way to sum this up. Thanks again for coming on the show today.
Thanks for having me, Josh. You're such a legend. Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening. Visit ecommbreakthrough.com for more information. If you've enjoyed today's episode, the best way you can show your appreciation is by clicking the subscribe button and quickly leaving a review. See you again next time.